Welcome to Podnutz episode 14. This episode is called Freeware Picks from Billy and Aaron from the Daily Freeware Podcast. Our guests today are Billy and Aaron, who are hosts of the Daily Freeware Podcast on TalkShoe. You can check out their podcast at dailyfreewarepodcast.com. It's a great show. I asked them to be on Podnutz because I like their show so much. They go over some great applications, useful utilities, and it's all free. So that's coming up. Also, if you haven't already, definitely check out the forums at podnutz.com. A lot of questions being answered in there, a lot of great help and tech advice. Definitely check that out. It's free at podnutz.com/forums. And if you want to follow us on Twitter, we are at twitter.com/podnutz. Okay, so we're here with Aaron and Billy from the Daily Freeware Podcast. So how you guys doing today?
I'm doing awesome. There we go. I knew that was going to happen. That's why I waited. This is another problem we have on the Daily Freeware Podcast, is that we talk over each other, or I talk over Billy.
Yeah, it happens to happen a lot.
Yeah, I mean, what are you going to do? By the way, you guys, your podcast is great. I recommended it to my listeners on my daily Podnutz show, and I've got good feedback from it. A lot of people said that they listened to it and they really like it. So you guys are doing a great job. And another person told me that anything that's free, they'll gladly take. So free is good. All right, so I asked you guys to come on the show, and as you guys know, our show is about computer repair mainly. So I figured there's got to be some good freeware utilities out there about fixing computers and how a person who's a computer repair technician or somebody who's interested in computer repair, if there's any good freeware utilities out there for somebody like that.
Well, the biggest problem we have on the Daily Freeware Podcast is that we're both Mac users and we really struggle for Windows freeware. So
right.
We've got kind of more Mac preventative maintenance stuff than PC stuff. But we've got a couple. I mean, where do you want to go first?
Let's do our favorite one, Aaron. Which we got, you know what I'm talking about, Lava.
Yeah, we got we did a whole week on this particular subject, and one of the things Wednesday, which is day 3 of the week for us, we talked about anti-spyware, and we talked about LavaSoft in particular, because I use it professionally in my day job probably more times than I care to mention, and it's a great piece of software, just because unlike many other anti-spyware and antivirus utilities, updates itself and keeps pretty quiet while it's doing it.
So you're talking about LavaSoft Adaware?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, they're spyware. We got a lot of credit for that show. I don't know why. I don't know why people like us whenever we do, because we think a lot of the shows that get most of the the listenership, we think they're the crappiest and the shortest. And I still don't understand that.
It's from me doing my show too. It's hard to figure out what you think is good is not necessarily what your listeners think, and it's exactly. Usually almost always the opposite.
Exactly. It's
funny like that. So, what do you think about LavaSoft? Do they just have Adaware? Is that the program you're talking about, or do they have other applications too?
They have other applications, but their bread and butter is Adaware. I mean, we talked about the freeware version. I think they would have preferred us to talk about their professional low-cost version, which seems to do more. But obviously, we're a freeware podcast, and that's what we talked about.
Did they actually contact you about the show?
They did, yeah. And they ran a print article about us.
Really?
A newsletter.
Oh, that's awesome.
Which is a bit weird, because we literally thought, nobody. It was in the days where we thought nobody listens to this show.
Yeah.
And then we get this email from. It was literally on the day that it was released, and we thought,
Yeah, they must have something like some little thing on the web that if they see their name anywhere, something. I don't know how they do it, but
maybe they did a Technorati thing or whatever.
Yeah.
They sent us 2 license keys because they wanted to try us to try this app out, and I have not yet used my license key at all. Have you, Aaron?
No, I haven't. I think, I appreciate that they did. They did. I already have a professional license, and I don't really feel great about taking stuff from people. I think they wanted us to talk about it, really.
Right.
They did. Well, of course.
And I don't know, man. I'm very committed to personally, I'm very committed to keeping it free, if not free, then inexpensive software. And LavaSoft's inexpensive in their professional thing, but it's still like,
Yeah, what do you think about the free version? Have you tried that? Tried that out?
Oh yeah, I whenever I get a new PC or get on a PC, I always install this because I think it's the best spyware removal out there.
Cool. How about you, Aaron?
Yep. Yeah, I use it a lot. I mean, like, because I'm a sysadmin, or have been in certain circles for a little while now, and either through work or through being the neighborhood tech guy or the family tech guy, you have to use these things. You find it. I find as a tech guy, you carry around these tools, and Adaware is one of these things. Just because, as I said, you can install it on somebody's like you. I can install this on my grandmother's PC,
right,
and know that she's not going to call me every day and say, "This box has popped up. This is updating," and I'm scared. You know.
Does it run in the background, or does that run just when you prefer to do a scan?
It runs. Well, you can set it up to run whenever. I think it runs when it's loading. I think.
From what I remember of, because I haven't used this for about a year, because I've been solely Mac for a while now. You have to start it up.
Okay. You know, I mean, I prefer that anyway, because anything that runs in the background when I don't want it to is using up some of my system resources.
Exactly.
And you know, it's like, though it's nice to have that protection, I'd rather run it like once a week or something.
I'd rather have my computer to myself instead of having this thing hog up 50% of the CPU.
Exactly.
Well, at the moment, that's why I think that we're both primarily Mac users at home, or even all three of us. Steve, you are, right?
I am too.
And I think for the moment we're safe, but I did highlight heavily in that show that sooner or later one of these things is going to bite Mac users in the rear, and it's really going to, the sky's going to come. I did a kind of a chicken little thing, the sky is falling,
Yeah.
And but I think that's mainly what got us a lot of attention. But I think for the loves of guys, the first thing that knocked me off my chair pretty much is because they said that we were funny, and I was trying to be serious.
Yeah.
In a funny way, but we get that a lot. We say that we're quite funny, and we try not to be even when we're talking about serious repair stuff, but you can't help but laugh at yourselves.
Yeah,
yeah.
I mean, keep doing what you're doing, because if you don't think you're funny, I'm going to tell you guys that you are, first of all.
Thanks,
If we released a lot of the stuff that we don't put out, you guys would fall off your seats, because it is pretty funny.
You should have save all up the clips and put them in like a blooper reel or something like that.
I said that's what well Aaron's the editor, so he would have to do it. Aaron's the editor, show notes writer. I just show up.
Billy's just the guy who shows up, but Billy does a lot of other shows, and this is the only one I do. I do another one. Another one of Billy's shows, but that's about it, really.
How many shows do you do, Billy?
I do 8, but I'm about to launch another one soon.
Oh my gosh!
So
what are you, full-time podcaster?
Says, yeah, I try to be with school and work and everything, and it's not easy, but it's just what I do. I've been doing it so long, it's just like.
Are they all on TalkShoe or?
Yeah, most of them.